I think, and then also the fact that my message is always to be prepared. Like it goes along with this time. So I think people are going to hear that and are going to be like, okay, so things are rough right now, but if the power goes out, then at least you got to have something, like what's important to you, like lights. I think lights are really important. I think people don't understand how important lights is.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's like, it doesn't hit us until we actually power goes out for 6 hours. And then you start thinking about, oh my gosh, I have a refrigerator that runs on electricity.
Yeah.
And then it's little things like the lights go off, that's not such a big deal. But then you start thinking about, wait, electricity, refrigerator, the food's gonna spoil.
Yeah.
You may have, your alarm clock is not gonna go off in the morning so you can get up to go to work. Like there's certain things that start to trigger like, oh my gosh, the lights going off is a bigger thing than just the lights.
Well, I think lights, it's one of these things that, nobody cares if it's during the day. Like if the power goes out for 4 hours and it's during the day, no one cares. You're just like doing things like, it's annoying. I can't go on the internet. I can't do this. I can't watch TV. But like extended periods of time, like most of us haven't experienced nights, or at least 4 or 6 hours or whatever, without power, without lights at home in the darkness.
Yeah, unless you're camping. Like if you're camping, but ready to be camping. Like when
you're in that mode.
Yeah, you're in the mode. But when you're at home and then the lights go off and your, toaster isn't working, that's when it seems to hit home like, oh my gosh, this is not the same context. I'm in a different place. I'm not ready to kind of be out, living like a wild.
Yeah, I think mentally also, that is like when you spend a few days without lights, right, in the darkness, and quite a few hours in the darkness, because you think, as soon as it becomes dark, you don't go to bed, right? You don't know. We usually don't know. We don't pay attention to the amount of time that we are awake, that we are conscious, while it's dark outside, right? Because we're never in the dark. We're always with light. We only turn the lights off when we want to go to sleep, like when we're like ready, and even then. We keep a night light on a thing, you know what I mean? So I think mentally it's going to take a hit on us, I think, if we get to spend more than a couple of days without power. And I think people don't get it. I think it's going to take for them to experience it and they're like, oh my God.
What it is. It's like we've been disconnected from nature to such a point that we're used to being surrounded by this kind of artificial landscape that we've created. Right? Not that it's not useful.
It's artificial day.
Yeah, it's an artificial
but it's at night. Yeah,
it's extended artificial day.
Yeah.
That's a good way of looking at it. And we're not used to having to deal with the actual length of the day, and then the lights go off, and then now you got to deal with the actual night.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like if we're deep inside, we're still little children who are afraid of the dark.
The darkness, the boogeyman. So I think I'll be fine, because that is what I'm helping people do, prepare for that eventuality. Mm-hmm. And if anything, it's closer than ever. Like that's it's more real, I think, to the regular population than just us crazies. The preppers are the far they're the far people that are prepared, right, to the far right or the left or whatever. It doesn't. The right and left in this context doesn't mean what it usually means, but they're really prepared, right? And then the rest of us, I'm somewhere in the middle. The rest of us and the rest of the population are like, they don't care. They don't know. Yeah. They don't think about it.
It's like a pretty sane practice among regular people, right? Not too far extreme, is to have some kind of emergency preparedness, some amount of it.
Is it?
And it's talked about.
Yeah, everybody should.
Yeah, like everyone knows that they should.
Everybody should have 3 months worth of money and for rent and whatever in the bank. Do most people actually do it? Do people? In fact, let's do a poll here with people that are watching this. Which do we have any people watching? I don't even know. I can't see my stats. But out of you guys watching, do you actually have emergency preparedness kit at home in your car?
Before the COVID-19 hit.
Yeah. Before the last month, did you have one where you have at least, I don't know, what is usually recommended to have?
Well, it's recommended to have like 10 days, like 2 weeks supply of water or something like that. Have some emergency like blankets for heating, first aid kits, some kind of multi-tool or something. Maybe like the light flare or something to have light or fire making stuff. Usually you buy that stuff in kits, but I think this situation, whether it's as bad as some people say or it's not as bad as people say, at the very least it exposed the fact that a lot of us weren't as prepared with the emergency preparedness as we should have been. Because me personally at home, we have our go bags for an emergency that has emergency water, emergency supplies, and things like that. And when we have some water at home, but now that this situation hit, it really made me reevaluate. Really, is that enough? Like, if this would have been like an earthquake or some kind of a tornado, which we don't really have here, but in other places they do, I probably would have been underprepared. And so at least this was like a wake-up call to say, do we have at least a realistically reasonable preparedness, emergency preparedness kit at home for in case of a real situation that's more urgent. This is kind of prolonging, and it gives us time.
This is unprecedented. Like, I mean, no one could have been prepared for this. Like, no one's like, oh, you're gonna be, you might have to go inside for 2 months or something, which is a weird thing. You're like, what? Like, what is gonna prevent you from going outside? Oh, an invisible boogeyman, right? A thing that is killing your...
It's funny, someone described it to me in a really interesting way. They said it's like an invisible sniper.
Yeah, because it's not gonna take all of us, but it's just gonna take a few of us here. Mostly our parents, our older, our sickly people.
Which some people find solace in kind of saying, oh, it's only old people that are dying, until it's the old people in your life that are the ones dying. Then it kind of changes the equation a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want my old people to die or my sickly friends. Like, just because they're sickly don't mean I don't care less about them.
Yeah.
And by the way, and it's not just the only people that are dying. Also, young people are dying, right? It's hitting kind of everyone. Obviously, it's heavier, or there's more numbers when you get into the older people and the sickly people. But everybody's dying from this thing. At least that's what the reports were hearing. I don't know if they're to be believed, anyways.